Good day, my name is Pelisa Mafunda and I'm a financial wellness coach. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So what I do as a financial wellness coach, I help people mindfully manage their personal finances. I also help them practice gratitude to help them with their money mindset to change the way they view their money. And I also help them with debt payment plan. I have written a book, Healing the Wounds of Debt. It helps a whole lot of people in terms of how they can identify why they are in debt, why they find themselves in debt, what happened, discover their story behind the debt. Because like I say in the book, I discovered that debt is not just about the numbers, but there's also the emotion that is driving a whole lot of people to be in debt. And the moment you discover that emotion, you have the power to control or identify or just fix or heal yourself. So if you are finding yourself forever in debt, not getting out, and having no reasons why you are in debt, unable to explain why you went back to debt again, even if you had sworn to yourself, Uguti, you're not going to go back to debt again, but you find yourself back into it again, I suggest you get the book, because I believe, Uguti, it's going to help you identify what is your emotional wound. Why are you in debt? Okay, thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe and click like, and also share the video, and yeah, so that a whole lot of other people get to see it. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Today I'm talking to you about how to get out of debt, because we might know the reasons why we are in debt. We might be in debt, and now we're getting stuck and find ourselves, we are trying so hard, we don't know what to do now, and it gets even harder. We find ourselves going back into deeper things, taking consolidation loans and a whole lot of other things that are not going to help you. So I want to give you a step-by-step process on how you can actually get out of debt. Okay, the first step that I feel is very, very, very important is to acknowledge that you are in debt. Acknowledge that you are in trouble, and sit yourself down and say, okay, I'm in this problem now. How do I get myself out? You first acknowledge. When you have done acknowledging yourself, then forgive yourself. You might find you are in debt because of a whole lot of things, some things that you cannot account for, especially with unsecured debt. A lot of us, we find ourselves in debt for the things that we cannot account for. You have taken a loan for this amount of money, but you cannot really pinpoint it down to the last cent what you did with it. You can actually say, I took 100,000 rand, but you can actually allocate maybe 60,000-70,000 rand of the things that you did. You cannot allocate the remaining 40,000 rand, and it gets heavy, and all of that. Forgive yourself and be like, okay, I took the 100,000. I don't know what I did with it. It's okay. Now let me move on, because life is not going to stop just because I made a mistake. So it's very important. It is one of the most crucial things that you can do for yourself and make you pay the debt that you have at ease, and know Uguti, you are not going to repeat the same mistake, because that is all that is needed. You need to know that you made a mistake and you learn from it, and know that you're not going to do it again. If you can do that, if you can master that part, then it's easy for you to just know when you start paying, you then know, Uguti, this is the trap that I'm not going to go back to it again. That is now step number 2, acknowledging. Step number 3, pay more than the installment, than the minimum installment that you've been given by the, Okay, before we get to pay more, first maybe just go to the creditors, the people that have given you money, the people that you owe, and get your balances, so that you have an understanding how much you owe. Because you might think it's something big and it's something small. You might think it's something small and yet it's big. So go out there and do a full responsibility of saying, okay, today I'm just going to go to every place that I owe and collect my balances, so that I have an awareness of how much I owe before you actually plan. Okay, so you can do a whole lot, or you can get it from manually by walking into the bank, if it's the bank, walking into the shop, if it's the shop, and request for the balances. Or you can we have now the internet, you can request it via email, however you do it, but just make sure that you get all your balances, write them down, and have some sort of acknowledgement of this is how much you owe, and this is how much you need for you to be out of debt. So that is very important. Get the balances, get to understand how much you owe. Then when you have gotten the balances, write down your installments. Now you're doing some sort of a plan. Write down your installment and decide which one you would like to pay first. When you have decided to which one you're going to pay first, then stick to that. So you'll see that maybe there's balances that would really less amount of money that you can actually have within 1 month. You'll see that maybe you're paying 300 and something rand on a balance of 2,500, and you see that you can actually fit in the 2,500 rand and pay it off and close it off and all of that. So very important. First thing, pay off. When you're done paying off, when you're done collecting the balances, identify which one you are going to pay it off first, which one you're going to focus on. It's very nice. You can start with whatever, but it's very nice to start with the ones with the small balances, because it gives you the momentum and it frees up a whole lot of money. So if like you were paying 300 rand, then you quickly pay that one off, then you have a free 300 rand, sorry, you've got a free 300 rands that you can actually take and pay it to and commit to something else. So try doing that. Identify which one you're going to pay off first, and then the second thing, pay it off. When it's paid off, don't celebrate as yet and say, oh, okay, now I've paid this account, now I've got this amount that is free. Commit that amount to another debt that you can actually pay more, pay faster. You can work it out for yourself, but if you can't, you can always contact me, and I can do a debt payment plan. I do it at a fee, but I do it. So you can actually contact me and I will do that. Then you move on and move on until your everything is paid out. Then you can now safely say you are debt free. But don't say when the money is free and be like, oh, I'm getting a breather, because the breather of a 300 rand is not the same as the breather of a 10,000 rand that is permanent. Because if you are all your debt are committed to a 10,000 rand, if you say to yourself, I will say I'm debt free the day everything that is in this list of mine is a zero, then you will commit that 10,000 rand for the whole period until your everything is paid up. That can actually help you a lot in terms of you accelerating paying off your debt. So those are the steps that you can actually follow to ensure that you pay off your debt. First, number one, acknowledge that you are in debt. That is step number one. Acknowledge that you are in debt. Forgive yourself. That is step number two. Forgive yourself for whatever the mistakes that you have made. Make peace with that. Well, the one that I didn't mention, find healing. Well, you can find healing in terms of you identify where what happened, what is the drive. Well, that one requires a deeper going in terms of you finding coaching and all of that. You can also contact me if you want a coaching session, but find healing. The healing will happen during the acknowledgement and the forgiving. But if you don't know why you did this, maybe you were responding to peer pressure, maybe it's your childhood wound, maybe it's your ancestral wound. Those are the topics that I talk about in the book. Find healing. Then step number 4, get your balances, write them down, acknowledge and know how much you actually owe in total. Then step number 5, start making those payments. If you've got extra money that you can put in, go for it and add it. You can only see that you've got extra money to pay only when you do a spending plan, only when you stick to your spending plan and know how much you're spending on a monthly basis. So if you need assistance with a debt payment plan, with a spending plan, you can contact me on my number 0749311000. I'm going to leave it on the description, or you can go to my website or on my Facebook page and just or any of my social media networks. Just leave me a message there. I will respond to you, and then we can set up an appointment with a coaching session. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do not forget to click on the subscribe button.